Not many years ago, there was a boy named Jack. He and his mother were traveling from Lacris back to their home in Tanis to the north after having spent most of their iron nuggets on a cow for milking. After walking for a bit, Jack's mother went off to harvest some melons for lunch as Jack was approached by a wandering trader.
"That's a fine cow, son,"
the old man said. "We just got it today. We're leading her back home. Well, after some lunch."
"I have always wanted a milking cow myself, but all I have is these beans, though they are magic beans."
Jack's eyes lit up. "Magic beans? Can I see them?"
"Oh no, they're far too precious for a small boy to hold. These beans will fill my family for years."
"For years?" Jack asked, furrowing his eyebrows. "You only have a small handful."
"Yes, they are small now, but like I said, they are magic beans."
The trader glanced over at Jack's new cow.
"Still though, nothing to drink with the beans. Perhaps we could come to a bargain."
Jack's mother returned with her harvested melons. "Jack, I'm back. Come eat." "Jack?" She started glancing around. "Where is the cow?" "Mother, I know you're going to be upset, but a trader came and I made a bargain. We can eat all year long with these." He showed her the few beans the trader had given him. "Stupid boy! You sold our cow for these?" In her anger, she threw the beans as hard as she could. Through the air they sailed, finally landing under a nearby house's front porch. She fiercely grabbed Jack's hand and pulled him down the road, looking for that wandering trader. Some time passed, and old man Charlie Appleseed and his son John, who lived in that very house, were working hard on combining oak saplings with apples to create a hybrid apple tree, when a terrible rainstorm came upon their farm. They retired for the night and were sound asleep when the water from the storm drained down and finally made contact with those magic beans. The house lurched to the right, then the left, and creaked and cracked as it began rising up in the air. Charlie and John ran to the window to see the land drop beneath them as a giant beanstalk grew under their house. Charlie threw open the door to see what was going on, but the house lurched and he tumbled out, falling to the ground. By morning, the beanstalk had finally stopped growing. John carefully went out to survey their farm. The land had been taken over by dense greenery. Beanstalks grew up all over the place, waving in the wind. Whatever had happened seemed to be over. Little Johnny picked up his satchel and began to climb down. As the years went on, Johnny released a balloon each night, carrying his seeds to be spread over the land. People began to journey to the stalk to watch the balloons drift off into the dark sky, often bringing their own, sometimes containing seeds, sometimes notes to loved ones who had passed. The stalk and little Johnny Appleseed became known throughout all the realm of Vasten and known to this day as one of the 7 natural wonders of the realm. Well, I hope you enjoyed the little story of kind of a combined story. This was a really, really fun build. I'm kind of watching the time lapse now to talk over this a little bit because, man, this was a lot of hours of build. So if you don't know what you're watching right now, this is Realm of Vasten. My name is Fixxitt, and every month, the first week of the month, we do a build off. This is the second one, and everyone seems to really love it, so we're going to keep doing it. But we pick a theme and we vote on a theme, and this week's theme, this month's theme, was nature. So I had to come up with something nature. Now here's the rules of the build-off. The build-off, it has to be roughly 32 by 32 in size. Height doesn't matter. Landscaping not included. And it has to be on a road or in a kingdom, one or the other. It can't just be out randomly in nature. And it has to have some sort of lore. Well, you just heard the lore, so that's one checkbox marked. Also, I kept this pretty much just 32 by 32, I think. I don't think any stalks actually go out past it, though if you wanted to complain a little bit about me going a little bit big, the landscaping does have some beanstalks in it, and you'll see that in just a little bit. But I think that everyone's going to be fine with it. Landscaping is, it's determined by what the lore of the storyline is and not just random trees and things like that. So This was really fun. I decided that I wanted to do a beanstalk. I wanted to do something using a big palette. So there's actually like 10 blocks that make up this whole thing, not counting like glowstone and water for these orbs. And what I want to do is I want to have a beanstalk come up and I want to have something kind of interest. So I did these glass globes here and then filled them up with water and then put some fish in it. I just felt like it would be kind of a cool little interesting thing. What's the lore behind those things? I don't know. They're magic beans, you know, they're magic beans. So let's just say that these magical beans have little water globes or something. It's fine. It's magic. Anything can happen with magic. So, where this takes place, this is on the road just south of spawn, so it's kind of nice to have it really close to spawn. So if you join the server, if you check out the tour server, which is updated right now if you want to go on and take a look at this build, then you can just take the road south from spawn and you're going to run into this very, very shortly, like in probably just a couple minutes walk. So yeah, it's a really cool build. I really went overboard with the landscaping, trying to win this thing. The voting categories are uniqueness and wow factor. I think the wow factor thing, I feel like I have a good handle on that one. And uniqueness too, same thing. I feel pretty good about it. It's going to be on landscaping and lore or storyline. I think that's it. Because normally we do interior and exterior, but obviously being nature, I don't think interior should really be one. So yeah, this was great. This is a really super, super fun build. And I don't, if I were to guess how many hours this was, maybe like 25 or 30 hours. It was a lot. It was a lot more than I did last month, but it was a real labor of love. I really enjoyed it. And thank you to Trixon for the great shuffle mod that really made doing these stocks easier, which if you don't know what that mod is, it's a vanilla mod that you can run on a vanilla server and basically just randomly select something from your hotbar. So that way you don't have to constantly think about which random block you're gonna put down. So for these vines, which were 4 different blocks, each one, there were 2 different colors. I did lime and I did green. So it was glass and either oak or spruce and terracotta and wool. And luckily wool I've been farming for a long time in my base. These things I added right now are really, really clutch. And because I was really lukewarm on the build, I actually kind of thought it was a disaster and couldn't be saved. But then I added these leaves, and whenever I added these droopy leaves, I think all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is going to be okay. Because you know, whenever you're building something big, about a little ways into it, you're like, uh-oh, is this a disaster? Should I just delete this whole thing? And I think once I added the leaves, I really felt like, okay, you know, no, this is going to work out. It's going to be okay. Especially once I added the landscaping to that, it even sort of went even to the next level. So yeah, it was a really fun thing. We do a group session every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So someone from ROV would be streaming until I get my new computer. It's probably not going to be me. But if you want to check out the builds, for the build off, you can check them out. By the time this video comes out, that would have already happened. But yeah, every Saturday at 3, you can check out some ROV streaming. But that's going to do it for me. I am going to let the rest of this music play out. It's a few more minutes of this build. Check it out. The lantern, I think, was a really, really cool thing. The lanterns, I kind of decided that I wanted to do lanterns, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with the lanterns yet or why. I just thought it would be a really cool look. So I think the lore sort of really came out using the Johnny Appleseed sort of thing where he's spreading apples, his special hybrid apple oak sapling seeds all over the land. I thought that really worked out really well, and yeah, it was cool. Also, while I'm watching this right now, I decided that I wanted to have a really good forest floor, and I learned something from the last custom forest I did, which is do your forest floor first. So that's why I planted all these big spruce trees, just to get all the sort of brown ground covering, so it wasn't all green. And here's the house up at the top. I wanted to keep a very, very simple house. So yeah, that's about as simple as it gets, but it is furnished, and you can take a water elevator right up to the top. Just for sort of Minecrafty survival things. I don't think that necessarily really factors in the lore, but you know, whenever you go up and down about 1 billion times, it makes life a little bit easier. And yeah, I think it works really well. Anyway, I will let you check out the landscaping and the rest of this, and I'll see you all next episode from Realm of Vasten. If you're enjoying the storyline thing, please let me know in a comment, and drop a like if you don't mind. It would be really, really great. Okay, we'll see you all next time.